So I just recently went through having to apply to jobs, looking for jobs, tailoring my resume, creating my cover letter, so many different things you take into account when you're applying for a job. Being a part of some SAC workspaces like Product School, Product Collective, and Mind the Product, I started seeing that a lot of people were posting about resume reviews. There's even channels dedicated just for resume reviews. I thought it'd be even more helpful to just make a video reviewing 1 or 2 resumes, and from there allow you guys to see what you should improve on yours. Keep on watching. We're gonna get into a resume review for today. Just first impressions, I'm thinking already there's a lot of text here, so as a recruiter, I don't know if I'm gonna want to read everything. Maybe I'll just pick and choose what I want to read. So at the top, they included their name, they included their, I think it was email, phone number, and an address. Then they go into a profile, skills, accomplishments section right on the first page, and you can already tell that it's missing things as education or work experience, and that is because this resume is 2 pages long. Already I have strong opinions about the length of resumes. If you are a veteran, if you are like 10, 15 years of experience in, I understand having a 2-page resume, but if you're just starting out or if you just have like 5 years of experience, keep it to 1, because that way it's a lot easier for everybody to just digest it. This is a profile, so what this essentially does is it encapsulates or just summarizes this person. I'm not a super huge fan of these just because they take up a lot of space on your resume. You could be using the space for something else. So in this kind of summary, they do tell the person reading this that they're pretty much a consulting professional and they have some background in technology, and they also go into a little bit of what they can do for the employer as well as what they're excited to do going forward. And this is totally cool to say. I think keeping this for an interview is probably better. I think mentioning this in an interview is very, very great and people would be impressed. But having it on your resume, just because it takes up so much space, I don't really don't think it's like super necessary to do. So in this case, I would remove the profile section, so this whole area right here. And I see that in the resume, there's no title or role that this person wants to go by. So if I'm a product manager, I want to place product manager under my name. If I'm a software engineer, I want to place software engineer under my name. Just for a quick reference of, hey, this person's applying for this role. They're previously at a PM role or a software engineer role. Right now, I don't know really what you are working on right now, or what kind of role you have right now, or what kind of role you're looking for. So moving on to skills. Skills always important to have somewhere to show your soft skills and your hard skills, tools that you're using, languages that you're using, all of that really important to display. Here they have a few things and they broke it down into 2 columns. So the left column kind of goes into consulting, client interaction, project management, and some tools right here. And then the right kind of focuses on kind of more just programming, languages, and frameworks that this person uses. And so this part over here is pretty great. I don't really have any complaints about that. I think removing statistical analysis and modeling would be good, just because it doesn't really kind of takes away from everything else. It's just kind of either a language or a tool. I'd probably even move this stuff on the right just to keep it all cohesive. I think this is kind of general. Client interaction and project management is kind of also really general. I would probably remove those 2 and just mention them somewhere later in the resume. And just to note, to replace this profile section, I would just move your education up there. Then they move into an accomplishment section. Also, I also have this in my resume. It's just a lot shorter and a lot more concise. And accomplishment, really great way to show what you're doing outside of work, also what you did at work to kind of impact or provide value. And in this case, they break this down into a few different key areas. And and some of them kind of repeat what's listed here. So in this case, it's kind of hard to review all of this and adjust it. So I would either shorten this up, keep these different areas, but just do like 1 bullet point for each, and make sure that you're putting in the amount of value that you had. I think this section as well should be at the end of the resume, once we take into account where your education and your experience will go. So on page 2, we get professional experience and then education and training. Professional experience pretty much goes into a very common format. So title, company, location, and date dates of employment, as well as some information about the job itself. So one tip that I would give anybody really is that when you're listing these things in bullet points, go into more what did you do to impact. So just make sure that when you are doing bullet points, think of that rather than just listing out what you would find on a job description, say, because that's not really, it's things that you already come into the job as a product person or what have you. So in this case, he went into a technical software consultant as most recent employment, which is good. And here he led a few projects, and I would also kind of reword this as well. So how many client training sessions did you provide? Was there any sort of survey going on that allowed to see the satisfaction of those people that you gave client training sessions to? I think if you were to mention what type of projects they were, or maybe just focus on one project that did really well. So I would say led and manage X project for $300,000 client or something like that. And then technical product specialist here, if you can add here again more impact, more value instead of kind of going into responsibilities, that would be great. Then they go into their education and training. This is good. I don't think there's much to change here. The only thing I did want to point out is that for this brain science course, I would just link to the projects that you did. Sure, you learned Python programming, which is really important, but like, what did you do with that Python programming? What kind of data did you work with? Is there something online that I can see that will allow me to see what you learned, how you write your Python code, what the output was of you learning modeling data or Python. And then I think once this section is cut down to 3 bullet points or 2, this will fit where your accomplishment section is. And your accomplishment section, I would suggest that it be it just be shortened down. So just replace this whole profile section with your education and training, and you should be good. And that should bring it down to a 1-page resume. Now let's move on to the second resume, which is actually going to be a different video. So check that out. It should be linked on the screen once it's up. If you have any questions about PM resumes and how to kind of help yours, improve yours, please leave them down below. My email is also in the description if you just want to send yours over, and I can give you feedback on that. Cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that resume review. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them.